Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Please enjoy the show.
It's the corner where the Chiefs at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Although the NFL season is done, there's still many games to be played between college basketball, NBA, NHL, and WNBA. There's always time to embrace your inner underdog. All you got to do is predict higher or lower on multiple different player statistics. If you have yet to download the Underdog app, do so now and get free cash. Click the link in the description or use promo code ChiefConcerns, one word, to claim your free pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. So let's continue to keep the good vibes going into the spring season. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Monday Morning Tight End. I am Marcus Dash. Right there in the middle is our guy, former Chiefs tight end and Chiefs legend, Jason Dunn. And there on my right is my guy, my brother, Tasia Dash. Tasia, you don't get the same intro as JD.
I know.
Here we go.
Millions watching around the world.
Yeah, you get like the road team intro. And on the other side,
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. And now, and then the real juice comes in.
Yeah. But how is everyone doing tonight? It's a lovely Prospect Monday on our Chief Concerns Offseason show. We're going to get into a lot of different prospects tonight. Both you guys are coming with some little extras today, a little bonus player in the Monday show. So it's going to be interesting to see what you guys have to say. How are you guys doing? How was your weekend, guys?
Yeah, pretty good, man. Shoot, it was my grandson. He had his birthday party yesterday over here at the track. You know, this is where Keeneland, where they do all the stuff before they get to the Derby. And this is the second week for it. So it was packed out there, man. Packed. It's good weather yesterday. Better today. But had a good crowd, throwing some football around. Enjoying people, enjoying folks, man. It was a good time. It was a really good time. Really good time, man. What about y'all fellas? What about y'all?
I actually did another podcast, no cheating. I was on Lance's show over the weekend. Spoken Truth.
How'd that go?
Went pretty good. We just talked about, our favorite topic, draft. A couple of familiar faces and names from this chat were over there, I saw. So, I'm sure they love hearing me repeat myself, but, it's all right.
Okay.
It was good. It's a good time. Lance is a good friend of the program.
Yes, he is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Him and his brother, man, they do a good job over there, man. I know he's a little controversial to a lot of different people. And so for some would say an acquired taste, but for us, man, he's friends. It's family. So
yeah. G-Pick was there. Yeah, he saw me cheating. He was a peeping Tom.
G-Pick.
Over there on the tree branch watching.
Yeah. We got to see Lance got to talk about his take, a little bit of his Trent McDuffie take that the Chiefs are going to trade.
We went over it, yeah,
on draft day. So I know
really
that's the Lance take of the year of the offseason.
Well, he actually didn't even say on draft day. He was like sometime soon. I was like, well, it'll have to be before the draft. He goes, well, I was like, no, dude, what? You can't have people go into their draft all the cornerbacks they need, and be like, oh, by the way, you want McDuffie? It's like, why don't you tell us before I drafted a second-round cornerback? No, I don't want to.
Yeah, you won't do it. Yeah, right. You won't do all this.
It's got to be before the draft. That way they can make the changes to their draft board and draft accordingly. So, I think if it does happen, I think it would have to happen on draft day at the latest, at least for now.
Well, I mean, I know everybody have their own opinion about things, but what would be the point of it? I mean, really?
I mean, really, the point of it would be, I guess, just to not get out of a year. I guess it's always better to trade someone a year early than a year too late. You can maximize the amount of value you can get from them now. And then you think that you can replace, if you think he's primarily slot and you like a slot cornerback in this draft, let's say in like the second or third round, and you can get an extra first and third for him right now, then you might do that and save 25, 30 million. Well, that would be the reason.
Well, I'm saying, like, you don't really have to pay him this year. He's on the tender anyway. We got him under another year of contract.
No,
so
but you get more from trading him now, though. But with a team saying, okay, you have him for this year for cheap, and then you could do his 5th-year option next year and still have him for a pretty good bargain compared to what he's gonna make. So you have him for 2 years. Give us your first and like stuff. Give us first, third, and like next year 5th or something. You know.
See, and for me, when I look at it, when you talk about a team that's already here, like, why get rid of your pieces, especially if, this is Travis's last year. You want to make sure you give yourself a shot, a chance to get back on top. You're going to have your best corner if he's one of the best in the business. Why go get an unproven guy? At least, if anything, go ahead and re-up in the draft, maybe getting 1 or 2 guys, right?
Well, I agree with you, JD. I could have made all those same arguments with the Tyreek Hill trade.
I mean, you could have. Sure, it definitely could have. But and I think Tyreek, because he had a contract coming out, you had to pay him. There was no question. It was either you pay him right now or you don't, right? Trent McDuffie, we still got under contract. That's the difference. True. That's a big difference right there. So, you don't have to commit to anything right now. It's like, hey man, let Trent play for the next year. Same thing with other guys that's out here too, right? Who's going to be coming up next year? Is like, hey man, we'll wait on it. We'll talk about it. So you kick the can down the road. If you got your core group of guys there, right? And we'll get into it about the guys that we talk about drafting and getting a couple of different people. That's what you had to do. So Sasha said every draft pick is cheaper in salary. We had no idea if they could play professional football. Absolutely right. These guys are unproven.
Totally.
Yeah, we got us a Pro Bowler, all pro, sitting in the corner right now. Shoot, that gives you a better shot at winning it all. That's what it boils down to, is winning it all. And so,
but in 2 years from now, what's a corner of his magnitude going to get paid? $40 million a year? It's 30 right now.
I get it. I'm talking about you don't have to deal with that right now. There's no point dealing with it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, if 40 million is too much for you, hey, Trent, man, we love you. Give you hugs and
smack on the butt on the way out.
Yeah, man, and we'll do a nice little band salute to you and all those different things, man. He did it. He did his thing, but 40 million might be too much that we want to pay. So that's the thing about it, right? So
if you're okay with getting less for him, then in 2 years from now, that's fine. Then that's fine.
Yeah, I'm like, look, we got a chance at a shot to win it right now. If one of our strong suits is right there corner, why give up a piece that we know is the strength of our team? We don't have to pay him right now. There's no sense doing it. I get Smile, well, go ahead and get a couple of draft picks. Well, shoot, like Sasha said, we don't know how it's going to pan out. But while I'm saying this, let me say hi to everybody who's on in the chat, man. Everybody that joined in here. We already started a conversation. G-Pick, what's going down, my guy? Wishy Hall is here. Cordell Robinson, what's up, Cordell? I ain't seen you in a while, man. Good to see you. Gary Holland is in here. Who else we got? KC Colossus is in the house. We got let me see, Sasha. Thank you, Sasha, for the input early. Mike Brennan. What's up, Mike Brennan? So Mike says, I do agree that I don't want to pay top dollar to a slot CB. I prefer top dollar for outside CB. Trent's he's an all-around guy. I don't want to put him in a category when he's been able to do it all. So I when we start doing that, like diminishing guys and so he's a slot, what? No, Trent McDuffie is an all-pro. He's been an all-pro, not on slot. It's for everything he covers. That's, he's a lockdown corner. That's McDuffie the crown dog right there, baby. So we talk about it. I'm the Browns in here. What's up, I'm the Brown. Andre Chenault is here. Sweetie is in the house. What's up, Sweetie? She's not taking a little nap tonight, so she's here. How you doing, babe? Let me see who else we got in here. The fella say hi. Nana Sherry is here. Laura Zingser, I think it's her name. Linda Hunter is here as well. Let me see who else we got in here tonight. A nice little house right here, man. We're having a good talk. So here we go, man. We're gonna rock and roll, baby. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. So yeah,
Good.
but I just
that was a good warm up because guess what position I'm doing tonight?
Oh,
cornerback.
DB action.
Okay. Yeah, I had one last week for us. You know,
Maxwell, Mad
yes,
Max.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Which I've seen a lot of people having him mocked like late first. I've seen some mocks this week, like 27, 28, going in like the.
Yeah, these guys are a little more bargainy.
Yeah, but both guys I'm going over tonight are more bargain type guys.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll get to one of them. Why one of yours is a big bargain?
Yeah. There's a lot there. That's actually more your jam, really.
You got a bad back and a bad rap sheet. A bad back and bad rap.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, allegedly. Let's just make sure.
Allegedly to both of those, actually.
Yeah, that's true. Well, one the guy actually had a legit back injury this year, so.
I mean, yeah maybe.
But yeah, let's begin with our first one. So, JD, take it away with your first one, my man.
Yeah, let me see who we starting off with. Oh, here we go. I love it. Right there, that picture says it all. Jared Ivey, okay? He is a defensive end. He's a kind of guy that kind of does it all. Out of Ole Miss, played at Georgia Tech early on his career, college career. 6'6", says 274. He's more like 6'6", like 286, 287 around that weight. Very athletic, very powerful. He's got great explosion, great hands. Like I said, man, this guy right here can do it all. When we're talking about getting guys here, this kind of goes in the conversation we were talking about before, was, does it get too expensive to sign some of these guys that we have? Colossal going to be coming up. What are we getting out of FAU? One thing we got to do is we got to shore up our defense. We talked about defensive tackle, defensive ends. Most of the guys we got on the defensive line right now are either one-year deals or guys are going into probably getting a contract. We get a young guy like this, Jared Ivey. He's, to me, is a game changer. I feel that his fit for what he can do works well for us. He reminds me a lot of Chris Jones, if you watch him play, with his type of explosion, not wearing a whole lot of mess around his arms and stuff. When I see guys like that, I just think guys that do that with no tape around their arms and don't have the sleeves, he's a tough guy. He don't tape up his fingers or none of that. He just going out there and go play. Looks like a big 5-year-old going out there in a man's body, just attacking quarterbacks. And like I said before, man, he pushes guards, tackles. He's got a mixed bag of everything. He really does. And so they have him because he's kind of like, I wouldn't even say he's a tweener. He's definitely a defensive end that plays 5. He can play the 3. He can play outside 9, 7. Anything you put him at, man, he can play and he can dominate. And when you see him on film, he absolutely does that. And when you watch his film, you pull his film up, he shows. He pops right off the screen. Walter Nolan is another guy, of course, down there. Ole Miss. Ole Miss had one of the best defensive line in college ball last year. And one of them is called this guy right here, Jared Ivey. He's a character because I don't know about character concerns or not, Linda. Tage hadn't said anything about it, so hopefully I don't think he does. So if anybody does, Tage is going to be able to dig that up. So, I always appreciate Tage getting that doing that extra homework on a guy. But Jared Ivey, this guy right here is an athlete. He is an absolute monster. Just watch him. Look at that move. Oh my gosh. I mean, the tackle didn't even touch him. Matter of fact, what they did is they brought an extra tackle in to block him, and he didn't get his hand on him. I mean, just look at his body type. Like it jumped through right there. That's high level. That's him he's just playing ball. That's his athletic ability. Knock the ball out. I mean, he's relentless on getting to the quarterback. I mean, he's nasty. I mean, he plays high motor, very powerful, very physical. Like I said before, man, him and Chris Jones, seriously, when I see him play, I'm like, this is a match made in heaven. For him, if Chris Jones could tutor a young guy like this from Ole Miss and come in and teach him what it's all about, I could see him get into the ranks of maybe something like that, maybe in the future.
Night to put on the show, I watched and I was like, wow, he really pops off the screen. I mean, yeah, he's legit. And we talk about wanting the D line, wanting a guy who can play DN and DT. I mean, he would definitely check off the box for the guys that we want. So yeah, I'd be all about this.
Yeah.
Tage,
let me just say this, and he's not, we don't put him in a box or a hole like this. Like we were talking about, we need a pass rush defensive end, defensive tackle type of body. He's 6'6", 286. Chris Jones is 6'5" and a half, 3/4, 6'6", 295. Like they have similar body types and explosion. They really do.
his wingspan, I think, Mike Brennan asked about his wingspan. 82 and 3/4.
Arm length 33 and a half.
Yeah, and then Chris Jones is 85-inch wingspan. Okay. So a little less than Chris Jones' wingspan, but still, nonetheless.
Tage, what you think?
So you want to use him? Do you want to move him around, or do you have an idea of where you'd like him? Would you like him as like an inside guy as a situational pass rusher on the inside? Do you want him to play full time 4-3 D end? What did you envision for him?
I envision him coming into this defense like we play Chris Jones. How we used to have with Spags, having this defense, having guys that's versatile to play any type of position. He can do that. He fits the mold exactly what Spags is looking for. Yeah. So we look at Mike Danna, who's a smaller type of dude who's able to come in. He's not really tough on the run, but he gets through guys. Him right here, 6'6", 286, 287. I mean, he is absolutely what we're looking for. And so
he was a little light. He was a little lighter at the combine. He measured. He had like 274. So okay. He might be trying to lose it for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, shoot, 274. If he's 280, I'm gonna tell him. Like, look, man, you 280. Like the way you played in college, that's what I want you to be. I don't want you to be anything less than that. Like that's what we're looking for. Like for me to see you be powerful against the run and against the pass. Like you look good at 286. You look good at that point, So we'll let you work on that. I think sometimes when guys lose weight inside, that takes away from their power and their strength. And we want a guy to be powerful. If I'm looking at Chris Jones right here beside me, and I'm Spags, I'm like, man, look at him. He's your same body type, same size. Watch how he plays. If you 5 pounds or 10 pounds lighter than him, they can still do that. That's exactly what we want. We just want you to go get the football. And so he can play both run and pass, man. That's the good thing about it is because he's so versatile. They can move him up and down the defensive line of scrimmage. I love it.
It makes me think he's trying to play edge. He wants to be drafted as an edge. Him losing that weight. I've drafted Ivey a lot in mocks for that same reason. Mm-hmm. The guys I trust who I listen to a lot, their breakdown of him was they don't think he has the speed to hit that, to really threaten that outside shoulder of a talented tackle consistently. So they pegged him more of as an inside rusher or a 3-4 D end. Just because he does have a good power punch and he has a couple of moves that he does really well and he is powerful, but he's just not crazy athletic and he doesn't have a great bend. But again, if we're talking about a guy, if he had all those things, he'd be a first, second rounder. So yeah, I think he'd be good. I would be happy with Ivey as like a situational inside rusher to almost take the spot of Wharton, maybe, of that kind of thing. Bring him in to just rush the pass, shoot a gap. And then, if you have a certain alignment, you want to put him at the end, then he can do that too. He wouldn't be I don't think he'd be out of place doing that. Right. So yeah, I'm all for Ivey.
So guys that say that, okay, this was really kind of
Which part bothered you? Which part bothered you?
All the last part of it. He don't have bend, he doesn't have the speed. Like I think, man, that's short-sightedness. It really is. The thing is, they were saying the same thing about Chris. And when Chris goes to the outside, he delivers. And so sometimes we've seen him, because he's been able to move out, that sometimes we just need the push. We just need the pressure. And so Ivey, we just watched it going against, I think, who was the tackle against Georgia? I think it was 2 years ago. It was big dude. He just got around it. I mean, that's an NFL tackle right there that he's going to be going against. And we've seen him over and over again been able to destroy those guys. So, when they say bend, look, I get it. If you're looking for a pure pass rusher, all the bend. Well, shoot, maybe you don't have to bend. He just run over a guy. That's what you're looking for. You want power. If I could just overpower a dude, cool. I'm good with that. Collapse the pocket. That's what I want to be able to do. So if he is going down to 274, okay, and Pono Kawhi said this. Pono said he's 274 is too small. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Look at all the defensive ends that's in the league right now. They can do all those different things. He's not going to get overpowered by massive tackles. Look at Crosby and all those guys. Those guys, they're not 285. They're not. And the thing is, because of their slenderness and their frame, they're able to get around. So if he does slim down, let's just say he slims down and he can still play inside and out. That's the type of guy that you want. So sometimes these dudes come, oh man, ain't got the bend, how many times you put your hand in the dirt and try to get around a tackle? I've watched this guy do it. I watched him and he's been successful. So you say the same thing, Chris Jones. Next thing you know, Chris Jones is around that joker, hitting him in the throat. And so
Chris Jones coming out of school with almost 45 more pounds than him, though. So there's a reason why Jones can toss a tackle. That's 45 more pounds of brute strength coming at you. That's why he can do that.
Yeah. So we watched this guy right here. Okay. Did you just watch the film? I did. We watched the Bruce sprint of him throwing guys around. This is not something it's not a challenge to him.
A couple of them, he had kind of a free shot, but a couple of them he looked good on.
Yeah. Hey man, look, this dude is an absolute monster. He's got the strength to do it. I don't doubt that whatsoever.
He's powerful. Those are his two. Yeah, that's strength and length. That's his game. His strength and length. That's totally his game. The negatives are that perceived negatives are that he doesn't have, his athletic score is on the lower end. He doesn't have a crazy amount of athleticism. We talked about you talked about guys who are either really high motor, who just work their ass off to eventually get to the quarterback, or you talk about athletic freaks. He doesn't really fall totally in either of those categories. But again, he's strength and length. And I think there is definitely a spot for that on an NFL defense. I just think it's situational pass rush from the inside, or, alignment, certain defensive fronts on the outside.
With a guy like this, I don't think he's limited at all. We're looking at Karlaftis. How big is Karlaftis? Okay, how big is FAU?
Karlaftis weighs 263, 6'4", 263. Karlaftis is.
Come on, man. What are we talking about here? Like really? When people say that, this is what I have. This is why the pushback for me is this. Like, we're sitting there saying we try to put people in a box, or this guy can't do this, can't do that. Well, there's guys that's smaller than him that's doing it. They could get around him. I think he has just as much explosion, if not more explosion, than Karlaftis. I do. He has more power than him. Same thing.
Yeah, we've established Karlaftis is one of those high motor, finds his way to the quarterback eventually type guys. We know that.
So the same thing with Ivey. Ivey does the same thing. He's high motor. We see how he was getting after guys. He wasn't stopping on plays. I think, man, this is your guy, JD. It's conversations like these
that make a guy your guy, and Ivey's your guy now.
Ivey's my guy. When I started going through watching these guys, like seriously, when I was going through, I couldn't understand why they didn't have this guy up here. I get Walter Nolan was one of the ones they were talking about. And so when you start seeing, like watching Walter Nolan, guess who pops off the screen? Ivey.
That's a great sign.
That's for me, when I'm sitting there as a coach and I'm doing an evaluation, I'm like, who is this guy?
That's a great sign.
He keeps showing up. And guess who kept showing up? 15 right there, Ivey. And I'm sitting there saying, look, one guy's getting all the hype, but somebody's over here doing a lot of this work. Okay. And so sometimes what happens is you start looking at this guy, propelling him up so much, and then all of a sudden there's the workers, right? Like a Turk Warren, like a Mike Dana. You know, everybody talk, man, Mike Dana's killing folks in there. Mike Dana's what, 240 pounds with concrete blocks in his I'm joking, y'all. Right. He's not. He's bigger than, but I'm just saying, I'm making a point that you're not going to outwork Mike. Mike's one of those guys that's going to come in and put the work in to do damage. And so when somebody's like, he don't have the being, he don't have this, Mike's like, let me show you. No. Keep doubting me, keep saying Turk Wharton, same thing. Oh, Turk can't play inside 3 technique. Let me show you. Turk would, how much was he? He was like what was Turk? Turk wasn't that big. He's about maybe 280.
Yeah, I'm looking at FAU's height and weight. FAU 6'4", 255.
Yeah, man, come on. Like,
that begs the question: where would FAU be ranked amongst this draft? Because we're talking about D-line depth. Where would FAU be in this draft right now?
I've compared. I think it's the Draft Buzz that you like going to. They don't really change their criteria for that, so you can actually see what he ranked. I think I did that. I think he would have came up like the 12th the end. I think 10th or 12th the end.
Interesting. Because talking measurables, I mean, like just looking at the size and not looking at the tape. If you look at that tape, FAU's tape wasn't that. I mean, Ivey and his tape, Ivey stands out where FAU didn't really stand out in the tape. You're looking at the tape, and now you look at talk about measurements as well. This guy's 6'6", 280, and then FAU 6'4", 255. I mean, geez, it's crazy.
No, but FAU
had a lot more. He had a lot more moves though. FAU had some more moves than than Ivey did. Ivey's got more just like the push, pull, rip move. That's pretty much his go-to.
Knock hands down it, but that's all you need. You don't really need.
I'm not dogging it, but it also, I think that plays into it.
Big dude like this, man, is a go-getter. I'm just saying for, like I said, when I'm looking over here in my evaluation, I got them all up here, like my numbers, where I have them all. And I got him. He's right there, man, as far as like defensive end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 defensive end. There's some good ones out here. Some really good ones.
Yeah.
Shoot. I mean, what they going to say, Parrish, they say he's stiffing his hips too. So they don't really have a whole lot of bend. All he does is go get sacks, right? Yeah. Then the carry issues, of course, but
I don't know. Pierce is athletic freak. I don't know how many people are dogging him in that regard. I mean, he's one of the freakiest players in the draft, I'd say.
I'm saying like what you'll see some guys evaluating him.
The biggest complaint I've seen on Pierce from those same guys is that, let me get this right, it's that he's built like a speed rusher who tries to play like a power rusher. That's one of the main complaints I see on him.
Yeah, they say he's real
speed rusher who tries to play like a power rusher.
Yeah, he don't really bend in his hips.
He tries to go through people where it's like, dude, you're. I mean, we saw your testing. Like, you could go around him. You could do a Euro step around his ass. Like, what are you trying to go through him for? Yeah. It's like that kind of stuff. And especially they're worried because that might work on a smaller left tackle in college, but that ain't going to work against professional left tackle in the NFL. You're not going to go through him. I mean, that guy's built for power, right? So those are the guys you got to learn to go around.
And he'll get there, and that's where the learning curve comes in. That's why when you get a guy like this in, or like Pierce or somebody like that, like he'll learn immediately, because you already know what some of his shortcomings are. He's like, okay, this is what we got to work on. This is what we got to get to. Okay, we need for you to be powerful because we want you to play here. Okay, so if it's defensive tackle or defensive end, we need you to be able to use whatever bags that you have, your athletic ability, because we took you on that, to be successful. So that's where the coaching comes in.
So FAU would be 11th right now with his score from that year in draft buzzes this year's in that rankings.
Wow.
He was tied with Josiah Stewart and Azaraku.
Wow.
Which makes sense because Azaraku's slated to be like a 25 to 35 pick. I mean, that was FAU's range.
Yeah. Where's Ivey? Mike Brennan asked, I'm just curious, where do the experts have him going? Is he a second or third round guy? Where is he right now with the experts?
You know what, man? These experts out here, okay? All right. let's be real, okay? They got him anywhere from second, third round. You know, he disappears around that area, you know, because teams understand what they like. Man, we got to get this guy up. And teams know it. Some teams ain't going to pass on him because they can't. They cannot pass on what they've seen on film. They know what they're getting with this guy. And so some teams want to be quiet with this. Like, hey, man, shoot, hey, Ivey comes, you get him right now. He'll fit any defense. Let me put it that way. He'll come in any defense and do well. Okay. I want him here with the Chiefs. That's where I want him.
He's slated to go like the fourth, fifth.
Really? Interesting. So day 3, huh?
Yeah. Again, I mean, if someone sees a fit in their scheme, obviously they'll pull the trigger earlier. There's a couple guys like him, his not comp, but like in that can play a little inside, can play a little outside, 3-4 DN, very scheme versatile. Jordan Birch from Oregon. That's another guy that's kind of like that too. Elijah Roberts, I think he's SMU. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's another guy kind of in that range too, who can play inside, can play outside, scheme versatile guys like that. Yeah, and they're all going in that same range. I think Birch goes a little before them. It's funny, both those guys had killer D tackles next to them, didn't they? Oregon and Ole Miss. So yeah, they both had.
And luckily, they'll be coming to a situation if they come to Kansas City, same kind of thing. They'll have a killer D tackle on the inside. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, again, I think it's just highlights and emphasizes the fact that this is probably one of the best D-line drafts in a really long time. I mean, we could talk about the D-line for days. I mean, so you can pick a D-end every week, you can pick a D-tackle every week. You just talk about it.
Yeah, it's
ad nauseum, man.
It's endless. There's so many guys to talk about. It's just all about who fits and where you see him going and where you see his potential hitting. Yeah.
Yeah, Cordell Robinson, if you like the player and for your scheme, take him 100%.
Yeah.
All right. So now we'll begin with Tasia. Tasia going to DBU for this one.
Going to DBU. So let's talk about Nohl Williams. Okay. So I'm doing a couple different cornerbacks in this one. This is more of my outside press man. Okay. That's we have Watson's going to be a free agent after next year. When's Williams up? He's coming up too as well. I think either next year or the year after.
They're part of the same class. So yeah.
So they're both free agents after this next year. So Fulton, I mean, yeah, you could say, oh, we got Fulton. We signed a 2-year deal. So in 2 years from now, if we don't do McDuffie's option, who do we have a cornerback in 2 years from now? Like nobody. It's crazy, zero. And even if we do, let's say, okay, we re-up McDuffie. $30 million a year, you're gonna have bargains. You're just gonna have to. So talk about Nohl Williams player. He ran 4.5, not crazy speed. He relies more on just a really good punch, extremely physical at the line, just made his business press man. Loves to dictate contact. The only negative is if a receiver gets off clean or if he mispunches, he doesn't have that crazy recovery speed to make up for it. But go figure. But yeah, he makes his bones press man, and I just love that. One of those fearless, like not even that exciting to watch, just because it goes out there and does his business and just out physicals cornerbacks or receivers. Sorry.
And his size really stands out too if you watch his footage and obviously seeing his measurements. I mean, that's. It kind of fits more of the what everyone says, the prototypical Spags kind of cornerback kind of guy with him. So, and that's why, we have people like Lance to say Trey McDuffie, it's not your prototypical, your standard Spags cornerback size, whereas a guy like this does kind of emulate that. But JD, when you look at numbers, look at his measurements, look at his tape, where do you stand on Nohl Williams and Cal too? So the Chiefs have had some good history drafting some Cal guys back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, 6 foot, 199. I mean, it's good size. You said the production score is 80, athleticism on NFL.com. Athletic score 67 total. My thing is, if that is a concern. If you don't get your hands on him, you don't have the makeup speed. That's not good. It's not good at all. Because these guys up here,
4.5's not. It's not terrible. He didn't drop the ball in the 40. It's not lightning fast though.
Oh, you ain't got makeup on that. I'm telling you right now, these wide receivers will pass you at 4.5. That's just all it is. Plain and simple. If you're not running 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, 4.5? Oh man. I mean, we talking about Jamar Chase. Let's talk about the receivers he's gonna be going against. You don't get your hands on him immediately, you got to turn and go get him. I like the size. If he's physical, I love physical corners. 6 foot, 199. I like it. And it goes back to this whole Trent McDuffie. Well, Trent McDuffie was, he was a top pick. I mean,
yeah,
you got to get a guy that's going to replace him. You get somebody else that's going to be top that you can't miss on a guy.
That's not my McDuffie replacer though.
No. Well, I'm just saying, if we get a corner here, you're not looking at him to be. Well, it's like, okay, is he going to be the starter? Because we tried it with Joshua Williams, and Watson, so I mean, those guys and Watson, man, if he didn't get hurt, man, he would have been perfect for us. And hopefully he'll still recover coming back this year. Hopefully he gets back to his old self. But one of the things that we were talking about, Joshua Williams, he's got the frame 6'3", 2. I mean, daggone. The length. It's always that makeup speed. We was talking about getting your head around fast enough when the guy gets past you. Do you have enough the speed to make up when somebody like Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson or Tyreek Hill or some of those guys run by you? Because when you see that and you see the back of their jersey, man, strike up the band. We don't want to see that in Kansas City.
Yeah.
That ain't no good. But I tell you what, if like you said, if he's sound, how's he technique wise? Tage, what do they say about his technique?
I didn't see any complaints about his technique. He was just a really solid press man corner, inconsistent in run support. But I also heard, side note, this is one of the worst tackling cornerback drafts in a long time. I heard the tackling in this draft for cornerbacks is pretty bad across the board. So there are only maybe a couple exceptions for that. Mostly just burst to close. That's his biggest problem, the 4.5.
What's interesting about that is I just looked back. So Jalen Watson ran a 4.51 at his I think combine or his pro day, and then Joshua Williams ran a 4.53. So
McDuffie ran a 4.44, which isn't even lightning fast either, by the way. So I mean,
McDuffie was sound in his technique, quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what sets himself apart from everybody else. But we see some of that with Watson and Williams is when they get on top of them, it is that makeup speed. Like, that's why you got to be able to get your head around. You got to be step to step with these guys. And trying to catch a dude when you're running backward and he's running forward, man, that's tough. It's tough to see that. So,
where's his range, Tage? Where the experts have him? Where's he slated to go based on experts' analysis?
Third, fourth round.
Third, fourth. Okay. Interesting. Huh. I mean, look, I love the size, and like you said, it's not a need that everyone's talking about right now, the cornerback position. But when you say things like Watson, Joshua Williams, McDuffie, because remember that draft class it was all that same Tyreek Hill trade draft class. We spent all those assets on the Fab Five, all the young DBs, and then it's crazy that they're right. Tomorrow they're gone. They're grown ups now. They're gone after next year if we don't bring them back. So it's crazy how fast time has gone. B, now it's time to potentially look to the DB spot.
Yeah. So he actually is one of the better tackling run defenders at cornerback. So just to give him a little credit in that regard. I mean, it's a bad class, but he has been good at that. It's the long speed and agility, but I mean, he's strong and he's comfortable with the line of scrimmage, but on an island, just being physical with guys.
He'll have to be one of those guys, man, in our top 4 picks for a corner. We want a corner that's going to be able to be a game changer. He's going to have to be one of those top 4 picks for us.
Yeah. I'd say 133, or unless we, make a trade to get like an early 5th rounder, maybe. I'd say in the top 150, you probably have to get it.
Yeah, I'm talking about round 3. We got the 95th, 66. He will have to be one of those. Top 100.
Yeah, to get one of the studs in the class. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't bet the farm on a joker that's like, well, we're gonna get a steal. Yeah, get a steal for a backup. Oh, dude is solid if somebody goes down. I get that. But you talking about somebody, if it gets to that point of in the future doing a Trent McDuffie, you want to get a monster here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, because I think a lot of fans have, and I've seen some people in the chat, even the fact that, we've been pretty lucky. Brett Veach has hit on 7th round guys, Jalen Watson, Charvarius Ward is an undrafted free agent. I guess the Cowboys signed him, and then we ended up picking him up. And then, Josh Williams was a 4th or 5th round guy. Nazi, 7th round. Snead, 4th, 5th round guy from La Tech. So, where is that? I guess every draft's different, JD, but, is that something that you feel like the Chiefs have? They feel confident where they can go. They think they can go to get those kind of late round gems, or is that just a draft by draft thing?
Hey man, it's draft by draft, man. You can't keep betting. You can't keep doing that because it's gonna come back and bite you in the rear end. That's what's going to end up happening. Because you keep thinking, oh man, we keep getting good gems. Okay, all right. I tell you what, Cincinnati has paid 2 jokers on the outside, man, a whole lot of money.
They did.
To beat any of these young jokers coming in, and they're gonna eat their lunch. And I tell you what, you get up here, man, it's a whole different thing. We talked about it. You ain't going against Sister Mary the Poor, okay? Jokers over there doing agriculture science, running a route. Yeah, these jokers out here, man, is flaming to get past you, get on top of it. And so when you start looking at the receivers, man, what they running. And these big boys up here to go up and go get it. You gotta get in with it. You have to. So
he's 116 on the PFF big board, so that puts him right in the early 4th.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw some clips. I mean, he when he was playing against FSU last year, he was that was the other guy you picked, and never mind. He was going. He actually the other guy you picked actually had a pretty good game against Keon Coleman. Kind of stood his ground against, and that was one of the highlights for the guy.
He had I didn't know this before. He had 15 picks in college. It's a good amount.
Yeah, seven this past year.
Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta check the graphic. I got all information on the graphic there too.
I see it, man. I don't want to do work, man. I did enough work already.
A lot of information on there. All right. So again, with my theme over the last since we began this thing, I told you guys I was going to pinpoint our D tackle, whether it's me guessing them right or you guys with your prospects reviews. We're going to definitely get the D tackle, one of the D tackles, maybe 2 of them, based on our prospect shows. And this one is a guy that JD and I were big fans of when first came in. We first started talking about draft stuff, and then over time we kind of got looked a little bit more into it, and maybe not a surefire guy as we thought he was, but looking more into it. But Deone Walker, 6'6", 348 pounds, would have been a surefire first-round pick, potentially top 20 pick if he came out last year. Now potentially a day 3 pick. It was discovered at the combine that he played in 2024 with a stress fracture in his back. And that was kind of the reason for his, poor play, so to speak, from this past year. So, guy played through, and you can give the guy, that's the one thing we always say about the injuries, right? Like, we can hold it against you. Fans are going to hold it against you. Experts are going to hold it against you. NFL teams are going to hold it against you. But at the same time, who's giving him a credit for playing with a stress fracture in his back? Like the guy literally hurt his draft stock by playing with the stress fracture in his back. And who knows? He could be back to his 2023 form without this injury. So, I mean, you could get a good steal on this. definitely something the Chiefs would do. Chiefs, have taken guys who've had injury concerns in their last year and taken them late in drafts before. We've seen it many, many times. So definitely something I could see the Chiefs taking advantage there. But a little bit of background about Deone Walker, two-sport athlete who also played basketball. So we're talking about a 6'6", 350 guy playing basketball. I love hearing that. I love seeing that.
Point guard, obviously.
Yeah. He's probably a 5 on the team.
Yeah. Probably small ball.
It shows kind of surprising mobility with a guy that size. So that's great too from a guy who can play inside and outside, mainly inside. Walker collected offers from Michigan, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, LSU, Penn State, Tennessee, and Texas, and then obviously Kentucky, that's where he ended up going. He collected first team freshman All-American honors, second team All-SEC honors in 2022, second team All-SEC honors again in 2023, and second team All-SEC once again as a junior in 2024. And that is with a stress fracture in his back and on a down year. He still collected honors there. Walker, obviously hard to uproot and move in linear blocks and solo assignments for offensive linemen. He illustrates the power necessary to stack and shed blocks at the point of attack. And he's got a stout gravitational pull as a tackler in between the tackles. Some of the positives here: surprisingly nimble athlete for a guy his size. Obviously 6'6", 358. Has flashed good pass rush IQ, the ability to deconstruct hands for secondary counters. Has viable projection to either a penetration role or a two-gapping presence. Some of the negatives here: first step explosiveness is irregular, and Walker is prone to popping up out of his stance. Big thing for him is standing straight up. He kind of has a poor posture on the field. People, of course, guy's 6'6", 350. So, he's got a big, huge.
7, yeah.
Huge. There's definitely going to be a big target there with a guy that size. Offers a massive surface level for blockers due to poor flexibility, as a lot of experts I saw say, and much less dangerous if initial charge out of stance is stymied. But you can say it about anybody when you talk about that. Obviously, and again, like I said, if he came out last year, talk about a day 1 pick potentially. But now they're saying, based on his past season, that we're looking at a day 3 pick, a round 4 to 5 kind of guys where they have him listed at. Now, again, you can talk about potential. The guy playing with an injury last year, this could be a steal. This could be a day 3 steal for the Chiefs. Let's say the Chiefs don't go D-tackle in round 1, they go edge and other positions. And then we still need for a D-tackle. This is a guy they could be looking at in day 3 to go get. But I love the potential here. And that's one thing all the experts say about him. They may say day 3, but they say the potential is definitely there with him if you can get 2023 Deone Walker to come out and play. So I think we have the defensive line coach to do that. I think we have the defensive staff to do that, to get the best out of a guy who showed he could be a first-round pick just 2 years ago. So what do you guys make of Deone Walker? JD, I know Deone Walker's in your backyard, so what do you make about this guy?
Junior year, man, he was unstoppable. I mean, I watched him, man. He was going through double teams, man, like a hot knife through butter. And so he could have came out his junior year, probably would have been a first round pick. Easy. And I didn't know anything about the stress fracture. I'm glad you said this and brought it up, because it makes a whole lot of sense, because you've seen everything dip down. And I thought it was just the man just got comfortable. But I had no idea he was dealing with an injury. And if he's able to get anything and mirror what he did his junior year, he'll be a great pick. He'll be a great steal. He's a big man. I'm talking about like when you see him out on the field, you could tell the difference. You're like, God, that joker, the guards and the tackles are 6'5", 6'6", and he's towering over them jokers, making everybody look like kids. And that's what you see in a lot of that. You see him like right here grabbing his jersey. That's what you see in a whole lot of, trying to hold on for dear life, trying to stop this monster. And that's exactly who he was or is. But now, man, I like Deone Walker. Like you said, if he heals up, he'll be a great addition to what we do. Look, me being 6'7", look, when you're tall, you don't like bending your knees. You're going to stand up. You're going to look like you stand up because he's 6'7". But when he stands up, his belly is where everybody's head is when they bend down. That's what, he's just a giant coming through, just tearing stuff up. That's how he was his junior year, man. I'm telling you, he was an absolute monster. So, like I said, man, if he could rectify what he did his junior year, yeah, absolute wonderful addition.
Yeah, and shout out Cordell Robinson. He requested that we talk about Deone Walker on the episode today. So, Cordell, hope you enjoyed the what we have to say about Deone Walker. Tasia, we talked about you and I have been talking about Deone Walker for a few months now.
Yeah.
Where do you stand as far as, let's say we don't take a first or early round D tackle. Let's say they wait, and this is a guy who, they're banking on 2023 production. I mean, this is something the Chiefs, we've seen them do before, take a guy based on, what they've seen in the past from him, or a guy coming off an injury, kind of betting on that potential aspect.
I'm okay if it's later. Yeah. I mean, this is someone I started the draft process. I remember I started really into him because I saw a couple really early on. Well, the season was still on, like the regular season of the college and NFL being mocked to us in the first round. I was like, look at this guy. You see the size, you're like, oh my gosh, just incredible build. You're so impressed by it. But then you watch the other top-notch DTs, and it was so obvious so quickly that like those guys are in just another stratosphere than he is. His size is so impressive, but one criticism he has is the distribution. Like it's all in his midsection. He's got small legs. He's got small ankles, and not a lot of girth in his shoulders and his back and his chest, which is troublesome too, especially if you want him to be a clogger, because he's 340 pounds. But if and here's another concern too. I know it's good to have the excuse for him to, he had back problems. 6'6", 340 pounds with back problems, who already has paddling problems. That's not encouraging either, though. I mean, yeah, it's good to excuse some of the poor play this last year, but going forward and investing a high-ish pick into a guy who's got those issues, that's also kind of worrisome too, right? So, yeah, the guys I've listened to and every single scout, every single analyst, they slaughter him, the poor guy. They said best maybe for him just to lose some weight and try to become like a 3-4 D end.
There you go. Well, I won't. God, D end.
Just because he just doesn't. They just don't see how it's going to translate. Like he just doesn't. He's built like this giant nose tackle who can just take on doubles, but he doesn't play that way. He plays like a finesse, shoot the gap D tackle, and his pad level is just too high all the time, so he just gets pushed back. And you just don't expect someone of that size to get pushed back that often. That's what's so weird. You watch like, oh my God, this guy's just going to be a handful. And then you see him get pushed back play after play after play after play, and you're like, what the hell? What's going on? Why is he getting pushed back this much by guys that are much smaller than him that shouldn't be doing that to him? He got stood up at the Senior Bowl by 270-pound Willie Lampkin out of UNC.
Joker had a stress fracture in his back.
But that's not going to – I mean, okay, so 340 pounds, 6'7", how's it going to get better? So
if he loses weight, okay, if he's sitting over here right now 331, this is what 6'7", 331. Let's say he gets down to 315, okay? Let's let the back heal a little bit on the stress fracture. I think he can still play inside. His junior year, he wasn't getting pushed back. He wasn't playing with finesse. He was playing with all power, killing guys. I'm talking about killing double teams, triple teams. I'm telling you, he was unblockable his junior year. He probably should have came out. He should have.
He should have.
Yeah. So
he definitely should have.
Right. But I know those guys up on the step up at UK. They've only thing they've said is good things about this guy. That's all they talked about. Is how good of a guy he is. But hey, these things happen, right? and I get that will be. Do you take? And I agree with you, Tay. Do you take that on a high pick on a guy? Does he feel? That's what I'm saying. Does he get to you? Maybe around 4. If he gets to you around 4, take him. I mean, shoot. If I'm looking at how we got our picks, I take him around 4 without a doubt. And the thing is, let him get in some shape. Let him get stronger. He's already strong. and then just let that joker just explode. That'll help him out. That'll help out on his back problems. I'm talking from a guy that has back problems, okay? That'll definitely help him out. Definitely help him out. So I don't know, taking him out to a defensive end. I don't think he'll have the length. He could push guys. Yeah, that'll definitely help. But I think his forte is man on the inside. No question. So
yeah, because I have seen some draft experts say if you're watching his tape based on 2024, yes, you are looking at the 5th round guy. But if you're looking at his 2023 tape, and we look at his numbers here, you can see in the top right here, the guy had 7.5 sacks last year from the TT spot. We're talking about first round talent.
He's purely getting drafted because of that. Like, had he had a pretty good year, not a great year the year before, we're talking about maybe like 6th, 7th, they're undrafted at this point, right? There's tons of guys that are his size that are just average, and they don't get drafted, most of those guys, unfortunately. It's because of that year that he's even going to get, which shows you how bad this year was, considering last year he was a top 15 talent. Now, between last year and this year, it's 5th or 6th round. That's crazy.
Well, yeah, because you're taking both into consideration. You look at the tape from last year where, like, all the knocks they have him for this year, he didn't have last year problem. And then you look at this year, and then we hear at the combine, that's when we find out he had a stress fracture in his back. And that's like, okay, we know why the play kind of declined a little bit. So it's like, for a guy to go from a first-round talent to potentially a 5th round, I think it's wild. And I think that's a gamble a team like the Chiefs could take, because we are built to win right now. That's a guy you can bring in. So I think that's
someone's
the juice.
Gonna do it.
Yeah, the juice is worth the juice is worth the squeeze with this pick.
Thinking that they can just if we can just get 80% of 2023 out of him, then it'll be worth it, right?
Absolutely.
So that's what you're hoping for when you draft him. Yeah, I would. Yeah.
JD, have you ever had a stress fracture, JD? And how I know we talk about back problems. Yes, back problems are awful, especially NBA, NFL, any sport, right? But how bad is a stress fracture? On tiers of back injuries, where stress fracture fall on back injuries?
I don't know. I had a bulging disc. I tell you what, I couldn't sleep. I'm telling you, I was getting an hour of sleep at night, the whole 2006. So when I'm telling them back, I know how that feels. Like, as far as bad back, shoot, I feel his pain. That's probably why he was standing up as much as he was, as well, because bending and all those different things become difficult. And so what I did during that off season to help on it, I went to out to California, Carson, California, and learned how to get all my muscles around it strong. Get my core better. And so this is something they could, they'll be able to help out with this, especially for him. Stress fracture, I think, is, heals up, I think, pretty, I don't know, as far as if you stay off of it, it could heal up. But I don't know that. I just know I've had a bulging disc, as other guys I know had to have back surgery. You have back surgery, that ain't a good thing. So this stress fracture, he's not having surgery and stuff on it. I think he'll be all right. I think he'll be fine. So,
and this story right here kind of highlights the fact where players shouldn't play through the injuries. Sit out and then rely on that 2023 tape, because right now you played through this back injury that he had, and teams experts have him in a 5th round grade, 6th round grade, and okay, had he just played week 2 and they say, you know what, I got a stress fracture, I'm out, he would probably be a top 3 round pick still. But because the guy played through an injury, people are basing it on his 2024 tape, and then there we go, we see him day 3, and could be a steal for a team out there because of that.
Yeah, apparently a lot of the guys in the defense missed a lot of time last year, so he wanted to just fight it out, got it out on the team for the team.
So it tells me a lot about who he is.
It's called a Parrish defect. The Parrish defect is a fracture on the wings of your vertebrae in the lumbar spine. It's a painful lower back injury, albeit one that's inconsistent. Some days you might feel fine, decide to grit and grind through a football game, then wake up and not be able to bend over to tie your shoe. So it's hit or miss and inconsistent. But yeah, he said it's something that he can manage through PT to keep it right. So it's going to be a problem, I guess, going forward. Parr's defect sounds like it's something you always have. No, I don't know. I don't know if it's something that's chronic throughout your life.
Right. Yeah.
One of those online doctors said should only really bother him later on in his career, as far as like really impacting his play. If he manages it right in the beginning of his career, he probably. I mean, either way, I'm glad, because his playing weight during the season was like 345. So I'm glad he already lost a little bit of weight for the combine.
Yeah, he was a lot bigger. Yeah, last year he was.
Yeah. He got down to 331, so he already lost like 14 pounds. So it means he knew like the weight's a problem. Got to keep it off, especially if it's not distributed around his body, right? If he's got smaller legs.
Mm-hmm.
So
well,
yeah,
I mean, and thin ankles mean that you're fast. You got speed with it.
It's true.
Yeah.
Parr's defect.
It's harder to anchor, though, right, JD? It's harder to anchor when you're getting doubled from a nose position, though, right? If you have small legs.
No, you said it's small ankles. Ankles, like usually, if he comes up and his calves are pretty big, I mean, he don't got your big legs right there. He shouldn't have no problem with it. He shouldn't have no problem with it. Like I said, man, his junior year, he didn't have an issue at all. So if it heals and he's able to go ahead and do it and manage it, I think he'll be fine.
And maybe this gives him a little chip on his shoulder too, even better.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Parr's defect Parr's fractures can take up to 6 months to heal. And it takes, some say, anywhere from 6 to 12 weeks to potentially 3 to 6 months. So,
he said it's healed now.
So there you go.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, especially he'll be somewhere. You know, when you hear that, like football guys, they usually they get on it immediately. You got the best doctors in the world. They'll make sure you start training to get everything right that you need to. So, as opposed to like the 3 to 6 months of somebody like regular folk. Yeah.
So could be a steal for a team out there, and hopefully it's us getting him day 3 as a steal. So, and seeing a lot of Deone Walker love in the chat. So you got to love that, and also seeing we have a lot of people with back issues in the chat as well. So
yeah, I see Demonte Green Beach talking about, yo man, when you start talking about back pain, my back immediately started hurting. Like, oh shoot, like ow. Yeah, man. Hey,
Doctor says I need a backiotomy.
Oh man, it's always funny. A lot of people don't know where it comes from. Tell you that's always. Doctor said I need a backiotomy.
What's that? What's that from?
Chappelle show.
Oh,
Dave Chappelle.
Originally half baked, but yeah, you got the actor.
Doctor
says I need a backiotomy.
Oh yeah, Chappelle doing it. Yeah.
God, if you're listening, help!
Oh my gosh! What's up, Rick Henderson's in here, man? Let's talk a little bit with the chat people out here a little bit. So Kentucky used Walker all over the line of scrimmage. The Wildcats always used his mask to help create pressure with stunts and twists. Yes, they did. Not Sherry. Yeah, they did a lot of that up here in UK. And the thing was, I mean, he was effective because they really couldn't block him. He was able to, man, their linebacker is a pretty good linebacker. I can't think of his name right now. Mike, linebacker, but he does a real good job. But a lot of that had to do with what Deone Walker was able to keep off.
Dumas?
Yes. Yeah.
Dumas Johnson? Is that right?
Yeah. About time. So I have a massive hematoma in my back. It sucks when you try busting the running man at the club. Do the workout well. Can still knock off the Cabbage Patch, though. I hear you, about time. I love it. Running man and the Cabbage Patch. Yes, sir. Yeah. People like, what? What are those dances? Yeah. I know everybody know what the Running Man is.
Yeah. The movie?
Yeah, everybody did. Yeah, they should.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The Schwarzenegger, right?
They're remaking that.
No. Running Man, the dance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant the movie with Arnold.
No. No, he's talking about dance move, Running Man and the Cabbage Patch. That's what that is. So the Cabbage Patch is the old like this coming around, and the Running Man was used to be what Vanilla Ice used to do. He used to do the that.
Yeah, when you run,
yeah.
Kid and Play did that too.
Oh yeah. The Running Man was it back in the day. Now
MC Hammer.
MC
Hammer rocked that out.
Andre Shabbat laughing. Yeah. So we just learned it. Yeah, there we go. It's not the movie, it's the dance. Appreciate that about
They're
time.
both good, okay? They're both really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Susan wants to see it. Susan wants to see you do it, JD.
I'm doing the little cabbage patch. I'm doing the cabbage patch. I can do the cabbage. Yeah. You run it, man. I can do that. Susan wants me to get up.
Yep.
I can do it. Hey, I don't know if we got big enough screen to get me out here doing the whole running man out here, Susan.
I mean, Marcus can set that up. Marcus
I
can
could.
Yeah.
I give you the solo shot.
So
all right.
So what? I think it's we talked about Mason last week. Yeah, last week we did. Mm-hmm. Sparker Sports Cars in here. Hannah, Brian Birch, Stu was in here. We got a few people that jumped on the chat with us. What's up, folks?
It's a packed house tonight. Everyone's ready for the draft. Everyone wants to get their draft info tonight, so we get a lot of people in the chat tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's about that time, baby. It's about that time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay.
All right, so JD, you're number 2 guy tonight.
Yeah. Ashton Gillotte. All right. Guy out of Louisville, man. You got a UK right there, and I had to give a little love to Louisville over here as well. I tell you what, I was doing a mock, okay, and I couldn't really get a good defensive end early, right? I was just like, okay, daggone, okay. So start looking a little bit later in the draft, trying to find quality guys that have high motors, that have come out and actually has performed. And as you see, my man right here, Ashton, has done a good job. Watch him on film. He plays at a high motor. He's very powerful, nonstop. Man, I tell you what, man, this dude he's an animal. You could tell he's just a hard worker. He wants it all. When you watch it, I watched a couple of his interviews, man, he's got this long flowing hair, like Thor just lays out and stuff. He's talking about, his hair products and stuff he used on it. I thought it was pretty funny hearing him talk about that. But when you go out there, man, it's all business when you're out there on the field. It's all business with him. And you see him push guys. He does great in the run. Same thing. He's one of those tweeners, because he's a guy that, is 6'3", 274. That's his weight. And so I'm still thinking, same thing. If Karlaftis won a whole lot of money, love Karlaftis, but a guy like this, he could come in and he can be one of those guys who could probably fit one of those molds. He could move him up and down the line of scrimmage, and that's what I'm always looking for, guys that it's not in the typically in the box. I'm looking for versatile guys, the same things that Spags is looking for, that can play anywhere, okay, and be effective. But he had a pretty good year at Louisville. Like I said, my thing for me, what I like more about it than him, it was his motor. I liked his motor a whole lot because he's just relentless. He's a relentless guy, very strong, very powerful, and you can just tell he just loves football. So he's my type of dude, man. You could tell, man, he's just a hard worker out there on the field. Like you said, one of those, he's not going to quit. You're not going to break him down. He's just going to keep coming after you, man. So here it is, Ashton Gillotte. Get a check him out, see what you think. So,
I mean, I love the pass rush presence with him. I mean, look, talk about like sacks through his career. I mean, he's been productive since the day one. I mean, 4 sacks right out the gate, 7 following year, 11, 4.5 this past year. So a slight little decline there. But, I mean, just constant guy to get to the quarterback, and you got to love that. And we always talk about you can't have enough of those type of dudes. And talk about a guy who's would be under cost control for the next 4 years at that. I mean, so you gotta love that. Do you happen to know? I mean, I know I keep asking this, but where is the rounds where you kind of see him? Is he day 2 or day 3?
Probably, it might be a day 3, day 2, possibly. He's one of those that a team is sitting there saying, "Oh, they ain't took him yet. Let's get him. He'll be a great addition to our team," and it would be the same for the Chiefs. So sometimes when I look at these, there's projections and on when guys are going to get drafted and stuff like that, man, a lot of people don't really know. The ones the first day, maybe first round, second, where you're looking for getting guys, on from that third, fourth, fifth, and on up. Man, it's just like, well, shoot, we'll go for what we need. And so he's a guy that they talk about. You bring him on a team, he's going to be a rotational piece. He's a guy that could come in and absolutely give you some reps. He's not going to be on the practice squad. He's a guy that's going to come in and he's going to play. You're going to make sure he plays, because when he comes out there, he's going to show you what he can do. You're like, this guy right here needs to be on the 53-man roster. He's going to make any team better. So,
Tage, your thoughts on Ashton? Is it Gillotte, JD, or is it Gillette?
Yeah, Gillotte. Okay. Gillotte? Is it Gillotte? Gillotte? I don't know.
Gillotte.
Gillotte. Oh, Gillotte. Okay. I like Gillotte.
Gillotte. Okay.
Gillotte. Whoa. There you go. So he's always, it's funny. I started doing research on him when he was always around in like the late third or fourth round. I'm like, DN. I didn't get a DN yet. He's always around. And I'm always like, all right, let me just start researching him. So one of the most underrated pass rushers, pound for pound, in the draft. Obviously, he's got a size limitation, short arms, not tall. His win rate was 21%, 66 pressures last year, went to the state championship in high school for weightlifting. Extremely strong. Quads, glutes. Mm-hmm. He is extremely powerful. That's the thing. He's got a good first step, not the most fast, bendy, twitchy. If he beats a tackle, a quarterback can kind of squirm away from him. He doesn't have that kind of like high end, but he can set an edge. He can run, defend. Just powerful, though, speed to power, and just gets after the quarterback. Just And another thing I read about it too, which is interesting, he's not one of those guys who knows he's so powerful who just wants to rely on that, because some guys are like, I got my thing, I'm just going to do that. He tries things. He tries to improve at pass rushing, and he experiment with pass rush moves. Mm-hmm. I love hearing that too. So yeah, I would be totally fine with it. I think they say he gets caught on blocks, because you can imagine if you're a long arm tackle and 31-inch arm, Gillotte comes, if he doesn't beat you on that first power rip, he's probably going to lock onto you, right? So that might, limit his upside a little bit. But I also kind of compared him to who's become a full-time animal, Benito at Denver, right? That's who you wanted to kind of become. Benito was 6'3", 248 coming out of school, 32.5-inch arm, still a little longer than Gillotte's, but similar. Benito's knock coming out of the draft was his size. Can he ever become a full-time guy? Will he have to become a 3-4 outside linebacker? But I've seen people stick to Gillotte still being a DN in a 4-3. Like, they're not backing away from it. Because he's that skilled at what he does, and he can set edges and he can run defense. Or he's not a liability. He just has shorter arms. That's all.
Yeah, he could work in any scheme. Yeah, 6'3", 274. He's a big size guy.
I think he lost I want to say a little weight the combine. I think he's 260s now.
Let me see where they had him at official.
Yeah, that yours has that's the latest one. So 264, right, Marcus?
Yeah, that's all latest measurables.
Okay.
So, he got and a guy who's got that much core strength, high school state championship weightlifting, he just drops some weight. He's not dropping that girth, so he's still strong as hell, even with, and he just hopefully got a little faster with that too, right? So, I'm totally down. Got my seal of approval.
Yeah, JD was on fire tonight with the D line.
Yeah, we need a couple guys, man.
Do you know anybody on the Louisville staff, JD? Did anybody ever told you anything about this kid?
I don't know any. No, I I don't know anybody on the staff now, and I used to know somebody. Shoot, Kobe used to be there.
Colby Smith.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, OG baby.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if Kobe's still up there. So I might have to give him a shout and see.
And Colby can give us the scoop on Ashton Gillotte.
He didn't run at the combine. Now that kind of sucks. He just did bench, I think.
What was his 24 reps? Okay,
24.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah. Love this. This is what round 3, round 4 kind of guy. It's interesting. A lot of these edge rushers, and I in that round 3, round 4 range. You talk about the Sawyers, the Gilottes. A lot of these guys, people are knocking them for the arm length. That's the big killer for those guys is the arm length. These some of these like 3rd, 4th round edge guys. JD, how much stock do you hold in the arm length for edge rushers?
I mean, it's immeasurable, man. It's all about the guy's technique to me. The thing is, like a guy like this who has strong arms, if you're throwing your arms out here, he'll knock those down immediately and get around you. You see that on tape. He did a couple of tackles that way. They try to, just shoot the arms out. You can see the length of it, but his arm, man, he came down with a swat and just got around the guy. And the dude couldn't even get his arms back up, the tackle. He was like, dang, like he was just he knocked down. It's like, oh, shoot, he just went around him. So that is something that you could use as an advantage. But, if you're 6'3", man, and 31, 32, 2 inches and stuff, if you're powerful, hey, man, you just eliminate that. You got to go in knowing that the Joker's got a longer reach than you. It's just like boxing, right? Boxing, the same thing. Well, you got the reach. Well, what do you do then? Okay, I'm not going to stay out here where you can tap me all the time. I'm going to get in close.
Yep.
So that's what you do.
Your
so
strengths.
that's what he has to do. Yeah.
Yeah, good. He had a nice vertical. He was 3rd overall for DNs in vertical. But he's got that. He's got those glutes and those quads, man. He explode. That's why.
Athletic freak, man.
Yeah. Yeah, but he is pretty. His measurements are pretty close to Benito's. 6'3", 248, 32 and a half. He's 6'3", 264, 31 and 7/8. So it's pretty close.
Is that their comp, Benito?
I saw Adrian Claiborne from somebody, but I have heard Benito as well.
Not bad. Was Benito? He was kind of late rounds, not late round, but he was kind of mid round steal, kind of like him, right? Benito wasn't a highly sought after guy.
Late second.
He was late second.
Yeah, he was high. Yeah, Benito was going to be more of a
32, 30, the last pick of the 2nd round.
Oh, interesting.
No, he was a high pick because he was going to be a strict pass rusher. That was his forte.
Yeah.
Right. Those one-trick ponies. Yeah. All right. So now we get to Taja's second guy. Again, Taja and Jason both have bonus guys, so this is not their last one. It's not JD's last one of the night.
So let's keep the trend going. Let's go another press man. Okay, let's go Dorian Strong, 6 foot, 6'1", 180. I think that's about what he measured at. Also 4.5 speed, so not a burner. Does have a track background, which is interesting. Arms are not very long. Dad, pro bodybuilder, now coach, bodybuilding coach. You want to be a little bigger with his dad being a pro bodybuilder, but it's all right. Displays better recovery speed than Nohl Williams does in game, even though they test around the same. Extremely competitive, disciplined eyes, mostly press, really good technique and timing. He's been starting since 2021, so he's got tons of experience. Does get beat, but he's a better recoverer than Nohl Williams is. He actually does recover on those. Good at man, also good at off-ball cover 3 because he's got such good eyes. Bottom line on him is can absolutely become your CB2, just have some strength limitations, right? But hopefully his dad will get him up, into that bodybuilding regimen, put some weight on him. Another guy that they said that just a boring CB to watch because he just does everything really well. He's not really flashy, which I'm okay with. I don't want to hear a cornerback's name. I don't want to hear their name at all. Like, if you don't hear a cornerback's name all game, he's doing a good job.
It's a good way to measure cornerback success is the amount of times you hear, Nance or Romo reference the cornerback. So that's a good thing. And also funny too, his dad's a weightlifting coach, and their last name is Strong. That's kind of
that's great.
That's kind of fun there.
And then one of his, his dad doesn't like that. It's one of his limitations is strength. He's like, we gotta get you stronger, son.
It's interesting though. I mean, obviously looking at his picture right here. I mean, look, he's got a nice definition.
Yeah, he's got
pretty
defined arms. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
I wouldn't say he's small by any means. I mean, 6 foot. What are you measuring at? 180, 185, 6'1", 185s. It's not the smallest. It's a little small though.
I mean, 15 on the 225. I mean, I saw some of the D linemen we've talked about getting 19, and he's like 200 pounds less than some of these guys. So
yeah.
But JD, we talk about another cornerback, another lengthy guy, 6'1". Cornerback kind of fits that Josh Williams, Jalen Watson mold of taller, bigger cornerbacks. What do you think about Dorian Strong? And this is the guy I was talking about earlier who last year went up against Keon Coleman and actually gave him the business. That was kind of one of his highlights. They kind of put him on the radar last year.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know too much about this guy. Haven't really watched him. Don't know what he can do. I mean, I like the 6'1", 185. I mean, as long as you can run. I just looked at his 40 time, ran a 4.5. Man, they got him a 59 athleticism score, which is not good. It's not good at all. You expect to be more than that on at corner too.
Yeah, it's the 4.5, which is weird. So weird because one of his strengths is recovery speed in game. So maybe he just didn't test well.
Interesting. So he ran the same 40 time as Nohl Williams, but his thing, he's positive
he can
recover time.
He can recover if he gets beat off the press. His biggest problem is play strength.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah. I don't know too much about him, man. I'm going to go check him out and see how he is. I guess they got him rated higher than Williams. At least on NFL.com they do. So
they're pretty close. They're in the same range.
Okay.
3rd, 4th round.
So again, around that same 3rd, 4th round type of guy.
Yeah, that's my sweet spot for cornerback.
Yeah. This
other 133 if we trade into the high, like the 140s in the 5th round, that would be my time to get a corner.
Also, his bride is only 9'8". That's not good. That's why he got it on there, not just a 4.5, but also that. Shoot.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you think his dad being a strength coach, he would get him ready. Ready for this for the combine pro day, huh?
I know, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Demonte Greenbean says safety, maybe. What do you think about that? Could he potentially be a safety kind of guy, or
if strength's one of his problems? I don't know about that, man. I mean,
they say
I'd say if strength's gonna be his problem, you make him a zone corner, if anything, because he's got really good eyes. So if he's got really good eyes and he can dissect plays with his eyes, then maybe move him to outside zone, if anything. But yeah.
Well, they made it a point on there. Said one of his weaknesses was he was targeted by physical perimeter blocking from Vanderbilt. So they go run right at him. It's like they gonna tackle nobody. He'll get out of everybody's way.
That is one of his negatives. They said he did, as he must have been really bad in 2023. They said he actually did improve his tackling this last year. So that's a positive that he actually improved on it. It shows he can get better at the strength. Like I said earlier, it's a bad tackling cornerback here. So
Mike Brennan, who is a big-time Virginia Tech fan, as a guy that's watched a lot of VT football, I've stayed away from all the players this draft. So not a ringing endorsement of Virginia Tech Hokies this draft class.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Okay, so now I'm going to get into a guy that this kind of guy, there's going to be some character concerns talk on this one, just because I can't ignore that. But let me just preface this by saying the Chiefs have met with him. He has been one of the top 30 visits. Isaiah Bond has been a player that the Chiefs have met with But that was, of course, before he turned himself into the Frisco police a couple days ago. So let me just say that off the top here. Isaiah Bond.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. What? What are you saying? Tell me about it. I have no idea what's happening. What's happening?
So Isaiah Bond. Okay, so I wrote it down here just to get all the facts correct here. So Isaiah Bond turned himself into Frisco police Thursday morning on an outstanding sexual assault warrant with allegations dating back to February. According to the affidavit, officers met with the victim, an adult woman, at the Methodist Dallas Medical Center on February 6th. The woman told officers that Bond initially sent her a direct message on Instagram that the pair eventually started texting each other. The affidavit states over text, Bond told the woman he would be in the Frisco area for training related to the upcoming NFL draft and asked if she would be willing to meet up, per the affidavit. The affidavit says their text conversations then turned to mutual discussions of having sex and engaging in one act in particular, which the victim said she would consider. According to the affidavit, the two eventually met in person on February 4th and began a consensual sexual encounter after drinking wine. During their interaction, the affidavit says Bond brought up the notion of the act they'd previously discussed in their text exchanges. Per the affidavit, the woman told Bond in that moment that she was not comfortable with trying it. According to the affidavit, Bond began engaging in that act anyway. The document says that the woman asked Bond to stop while physically pushing him away from her and telling him she was in pain, but that Bond continued the act while using his body weight against her and covering her mouth. After the encounter, affidavit says Bond told the woman, "Alcohol makes me do things," end quote, and asked her to sign a non-disclosure agreement. The woman refused to sign the NDA and left the apartment, per the document. After leaving, the affidavit says the woman texted Bond saying, "Isaiah, you were wrong for that. I asked you to stop and you kept covering my mouth. I'm in a lot of pain." Bond responded, "You want 1,000? I'm really sorry." And quote, "Would that make it feel better?" The affidavit states. According to the document, the woman was shocked that Bond offered her money, so he responded, "What? 5K and then 1K. Like, you asked me to sign, then you offer me money. So you know what you did. That's why you covered my mouth." While meeting with officers at the Frisco Police Department on February 20th, the affidavit states the woman texted Bond again as a part of a pretextual interview. And when the woman asked him for an apology, he responded with, "I did, ... end quote. The woman responded saying, "Apologizing by trying to pay me isn't a real apology, Isaiah. You really hurt me and I kept telling you to stop." To which Bond replied, "I'm sorry." From that point on, the affidavit states the woman was unable to make contact with Bond. Charges of sexual assault were then filed, and the former Longhorn turned himself in on April 10th, then shortly thereafter posted bond and was released from jail. In a post on X, Ian Rappaport shared a statement he obtained from Bond that read, quote, "Regarding the accusation made against me, I would appreciate the time and opportunity to defend myself and prove the claims made patently false. I'm in full cooperation with the authorities and will remain a willing and active participant in the investigation." On top of this, more disturbing rumors from sources close to the Texas Longhorns program suggest a pattern of concerning behavior towards women during Bond's college year at Texas, allegedly prompting team staff to limit his interactions with female staff members. So that is the character concerns behind.
Shoot.
Let me say two quick things before you go on. One, we need a bail bondsman with him if we draft him. Joke was spot on last week. One. Two, it's a character concern.
Oh, 100%.
And beyond.
100%. Again, these are allegations and it's part of an affidavit. So again, like there's stuff's going to be hammered out here, but it does not look good for him. So I want to make sure we cover that aspect of it. I said last week I was going to talk about Isaiah Bond, and then this happened over the last few days. So it was like, okay, well,
really fits our character concern narrative.
True. Yeah, I know. If we were to draft him, it would be something that everyone would talk about for sure, on top of everything else that's going on. But
and a Texas guy too.
But let me talk about the football stuff as well, and then we can talk about the entire picture together.
I don't even want to hear the football stuff. Damn.
Yeah, it's rough. Yeah, not
no.
And when you hear also too, besides that, the whole affidavit, and when you hear reports of sources, unnamed sources coming out of Texas saying that they prompted the female staff members to not really interact with him, that I think that says a lot about him. But just a background about Isaiah Bond to move on from that to football stuff. But a background about him. 4.39 40. Went from Alabama to Texas. He said he left Alabama because of Nick Saban leaving. Potentially late day 2 pick, early day 3 pick. That was before the affidavit came out and all the stuff going on. So maybe later day 3 or maybe not touched at all. I don't know. But analysis on him. He's a jitterbug, in and out of breaks with ease. Really explosive with the ball in his hands. Does not shy away from contact. Quick screens, reverses, can do it all, and also return man potential. Surreal short area agility and explosiveness to change directions and create space. Desirable open field speed and initial acceleration to threaten vertically or close cushion to create room underneath. Creative route runner that can turn defenders inside out from the slot or on the perimeter. Knox lacks on-field awareness. Based on the allegations against him, seems like he lacks off-field awareness too. But yeah, lacks off-field awareness. Tends to get blown up a lot. So yeah, he tries a lot and he gets knocked big time. That's been one big thing that Steve Smith said. Like, he thinks he's great, but he said the fact he lacks the awareness of where defenders are, where he can get knocked out, especially a guy that small going to the NFL. Good luck trying that. Small hands and tends to catch in tight, a bit of a body catcher, and that's one thing that a lot of anonymous NFL scouts are concerned with being a body catcher. Modest catch radius, doesn't offer quarterback much bailout opportunity for errant throws, although I don't think he'd be much of a bailout receiver anyway at that stature. Incomplete production profile across multiple programs and multiple opportunities with multiple different quarterbacks. If you look at his stats, they're not really indicative of a guy who's, someone who's been a guy, and unlikely to be a true asset in the run game as a blocking presence, pretty much non-existent as a blocker. And again, big time character concerns with this guy. And the Chiefs have met with him. And let me again say, Chiefs met with him before before he returned himself into the Frisco police. So what do you think about Isaiah Bond? And also, I will say this, before all this stuff, right, this character concerns, when I did the research on him, his nickname is 007, which is kind of a badass nickname with the last name Bond. So, yeah.
All right. Look, man. I thought Isaiah Bond, to be honest with you, I'm just gonna go on his ability. I thought he was just okay. I didn't think he was anything spectacular, to be honest with you. I wasn't really high on this guy to begin with. Just for what look at his output. I mean, 34 receptions and all that. I mean, yeah, man. I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about just the whole character concerns. Just hearing all of these allegations and whatnot. Obviously, when they go through everything and have his day in court, I'll let him deal with that. But as far as I'm not. Yes, I wouldn't deal with this guy at all. There's no need to. There's no need. This guy right here needs to get his life on track. So he needs to go ahead and figure it out. Especially sexual assault. I mean, it's things like when you talk about character concerns, that is the highest of character concerns. I mean, certain things you do, sexual assault, stealing from other people and all those different things, beating people up, assault, and all those different things, man, that's a big no-no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, as far as like me as a man that have daughters, I just really, I can't even jail to even think about something like this. There's so many other guys like this. Yeah, you had to pass on him. I'm sorry. So let him deal with what he has to deal with. And so that's my word on it. That's it. Let him deal with what he has to deal with, man. But as far as going to the Chiefs, no, not at all.
I have a lot of notes on him. So I heard perplexing evaluation. The good, hard to move like him. He's physically gifted, movement, speed, 100 and 200 meter state titles in high school. Spent more time at DB than receiver coming into college, which shows because he's got a lot of lack of polish. He does track and catches deep balls pretty effortlessly. He's got smooth route running. Doesn't lose speed when changing directions. Got an inside-outside game. Bad. There's a lot of bad. I'm not even talking about off the field. Lacks big games. He had a 100-yard game last year. And it was against TCSA. Runs himself into coverage. In zone, he doesn't have the awareness of spacing at all. He doesn't tempo his speed. He goes 1 to 100, throwing into throwing windows versus zone. He crashes into off coverage DBs when he could just slow down and give himself the release. He doesn't. He just runs right into them. Not a lot of nuance to him. His last 3 weeks of the season, he had 2 for 27. He was shut out versus A&M and 1 for 21. So bad to the point where people are questioning, was he hurt? That's how bad it was. Like, shut out, 1 for 21, 2 for 27. You're going to be a second-round receiver with that nonsense. Zero involvement when things get physical. Like, he wants no part of blocking or getting his nose in there. Zero part of it. Like, it's not just that he tries and he's not good, because some people say he's not a great blocker. That could also mean the guy tries, he's just not that good at it. He wants no part of it. JD will like this part. Tez Johnson is a better version of what Bond is supposed to be, but Bond just has a little more potential because he's heavier. And Tez Johnson's so light. But if you want a speed burner who could just take the top off, just draft Tez Johnson 2 rounds later. Well, I don't know about 2 rounds later anymore after all this stuff. But before, a round or 2 later.
Yeah. JD, just on based on everything that like kind of talked about the character concerns. And again, we talk about character concerns out on the show, right? Like the James Pierce thing, the guy wore a hoodie to the combine. He forgot his shirt. That when you talk about the grand scheme of things as far as character concerns, this is character concerns.
Yeah, it don't even equate. It doesn't even
equate.
Yeah,
James Pierce.
Yeah, that to me, that's a hiccup. Especially you had a coach that came in and vouched for him, was talking about some of these things to dispel some of the rumors. But something like this, man, when you're dealing with other people and their quality of life, against their will, sexually, and like I said, these things, allegations, how this thing's going to play out. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. That was one of the reasons, like when I went in, they asked me to come and coach these guys that was coming into the NFL, the tight ends. And we had conversations about these things, about how you carry yourself, who you should be around. When you're dealing with young ladies, opposite sex, with any of those things, about being responsible, how you carry yourself, conversation, what you shouldn't do, put yourself in situations. All these things should be a red flag. Like if you're sitting over here, like the way it just starts off, like, hey, you calling somebody, hey, we're going, you on a chat, and then we're going to go and have sex, and we're going to do all these different things. Immediately in his mind, I'm just saying, he should have stayed away from the situation altogether. And her too. I mean, this thing, man, it's a bad deal. It's a bad deal all the way around. So I don't even care what he can do on the field. It doesn't seem like what he's doing on the field is impressive anyway. But this right here, this is an absolute. That's a strike. I couldn't even think about drafting a guy like this. I'd be like, nah, that's when you go on take him on off the board. Seriously.
Do you feel like a lot of teams are going to take him off the board because of this?
Absolutely, no question about it. No question about it.
I mean, you're gearing yourself up for your initial draft press conference the moment you draft him. Like you better have statements ready to go about how you did your due diligence on him the moment you take him, because that's all that those questions are going to be about him. So it better be worth it at that round you get him at.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you said, even taking the sex out of it, it's a major character flaw to impose your will on anyone. Absolutely. Simply because you can. No question about it. And so, when all that comes out, however it plays out, hey, let this young man get his life together.
Yeah, and then also for the fact that he's not making the big bucks yet. Obviously, NIL is one thing, but he's not making the big bucks yet. And right away, he obviously knows he did something wrong. Talking about NDA right after that whole thing was done. And then if he's allocated, and then also throwing the money at the situation because you think they can just take you out of the situation. Obviously, again, these are the whole thing. Let the process play out. But if those things are true, then that's that's not the best thing to bring into an organization with a complete unknown, with a guy who hasn't,
Right.
I mean,
Especially she's got all the text messages and everything, all the evidence. Man,
all the receipts.
This dude's looking at some real time, as he should. If this is true, if this stuff is true, I don't care who it is, they should get some real time.
For sure. Yeah. So we'll see how that situation goes. But yeah, I'm with you guys. I was a huge Isaiah Bond fan going into the draft season. I thought, he played like a guy that would be able to play in our offense. Did a little bit more research, and then this whole thing came out that right away. It's an instant take off the board kind of situation with stuff like this. So, and Tez Johnson, I'm all in on Tez Johnson. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that take the off the field stuff. His on the field stuff just doesn't even sound that good either. I mean,
yeah, it's not.
He disappeared in large chunks this season, like flat out disappeared. Like, catchless, 1 catch, 2 catches, 100-yard game against TCSU.
Yeah,
TCSA.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
Texas
Christian San Antonio?
Maybe. Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Well, that was a fifth of his yards of the season came in that game. So, I mean,
not the best. But all right. So Isaiah Bond. See you later, man. All right. So JD, you're bonus guy.
Yeah, go to Tasia's first, okay? Because the guy I just want us to kind of have a conversation about him, okay?
Okay.
Really. All right.
So he's not very different, but from the guys I've gone over, he's definitely different. Now, this guy here, this would be we don't know what's going to happen with McDuffie replacement. This is the guy without getting rid of a first or second round, or maybe he does go in the second. I'd say our third. This is the guy you'd go after, okay? 5'10", 195, good tackler. Ran a 4.35. You think, he's obviously a slot corner. He played mostly outside. He played 150 snaps in the slot. So he's been primarily an outside corner who just can play in the slot. He's young. He's 21. He's extremely competitive. He just finds the football in man and zone. He's got a knack for it. He's quick. He's agile. He accelerates. He's got a really fluid hip opening. Yeah, I mean, he's a really good target to have if you want to have inside-outside flexibility.
No, I mean, sure, I like it. 5'10", you said 191. You said ran a 4.3.
Yep.
Is he pretty balanced? What scheme did they run here? Did they run a lot of zone or man? Do you know what they had?
He ran, I believe he ran press man cover.
Okay.
But they moved him in and out a lot too. Because when I didn't even start looking into him for a long time because I just figured because of his size he was going to be mostly slot. And then when I watched a whole cornerback show when they did like 25 prospects, they were saying how good he was on the outside. Just like you'd like to maybe say put him in a corner just because of his size. And he's the kind of guy why you don't do that, because sometimes a guy's size might tell you to put him somewhere, but his athletic ability and his just talent can have you put him anywhere. Like a McDuffie, right? McDuffie might be more of a perfect size for a slot, but he's just so good you can just put him anywhere, right?
Yeah. Usually guys, I mean, that's like slot corners. I mean, I know people tag them like that, but I mean, that guy's a corner. You just haven't played nickel. That's all that is. And usually it's those guys that can mirror, guys a little bit more physical. But if you're a good corner, man, you're gonna put him out there at corner. So that's my thing.
Yeah, and he tested so well too. I mean, fourth fastest 40. I think the fifth or sixth best 10 split, the fourth best vertical, fourth best broad. I don't think he did a 3 cone. Did he do a shuttle? No, he didn't do a shuttle either. Yeah. 12 reps at 225 too.
Okay.
Hey.
I like it.
It's not bad.
And of course, a K-State guy. Everyone's gonna rally behind that one.
It's true.
So you got to love our K-State. You see, guys, I said K-State this time. I did it right. Not an out-of-towner this time. All right, so JD, your guy that you want to talk about tonight, kind of a fan favorite, I would say, JD. A lot of fans are huge fans of this guy.
So Drew Brichet hit me up, and I said, you know what, I will talk about this guy. I think it's good to have a conversation about him, about what people like and what they don't like about him. Is he high on your draft board or what? Okay, that's Cam Skattebo. Oh, Skattebo. You know, I tell you, so here's my assessment of it. I think he's a very talented guy, very talented back. He doesn't have the speed that's going to outrun anybody. He ain't going to run away from you. He'll run over you. He'll run around you. Very talented. He catch the football. They said he gave up 0 sacks in pass blocking, which is just impressive. At a 400-something snaps, something like that, which is that's exceptional to do that. But when I watch his film, man, he's just a bowling ball. I mean, he runs hard. He's got good vision. He can make guys miss. I think his only knock is that's the only thing. He's not going to be able to outrun nobody. He's not. He ain't gonna hit his head on the goalpost. He's gonna get you yards. He'll do that. He's gonna give you everything that you're asking for. He's a tough runner. The question is that going to translate into the NFL? That's another question. Okay, so we know the speed right there is not going. He's not going to hit his head on the goalpost and get out. Is he going to be able to get past the D line? If he gets past the D line, can he get past the linebackers and make guys miss and break tackles like he did in college? I think that's kind of the question. And sometimes you see guys like this, man, in college that are very talented and just incredible, and they come to the NFL, man, he's just another guy. And so that's my concern for me. Is he just going to be another guy, or can he go ahead and translate what he did in college into the NFL and the pros? So yeah, man, let's have a conversation. What do y'all think about it?
I'm not the biggest Skattebo fan. I mean, of course, I would rationalize if we drafted him. I'd be happy as heck if I probably get this guy.
Damn right you would.
Yeah, I'd rationalize it to myself as I would with any pick that we go with. He's not my favorite. What?
Over
No.
Kid Judy?
No way. Kid Judy's number one on my RB depth chart.
Okay.
This whole draft, including Genty. Yeah, I just think, and also too, I got to an argument with somebody on Twitter about a couple weeks back because he responded to one of the tweets about Judkins saying, Skattebo was so much better than him. You know, look at his numbers. And I looked at the numbers, and it's like, yeah, Skattebo was the guy over there in Arizona State. He did everything for them. And for a guy to be the dude over there, and I looked at Judkins' numbers, honestly, they're as far as rushing wise, they weren't that far off from each other. And Judkins had like a lot less touches than him, and he wasn't the main guy in that offense. Judkins was a part-time running back with Henderson there, and then also too, you talk about the receivers in there. Skattebo was everything for this Arizona State offense. I just think a lot of his numbers is because of productivity, because of him being the dude over there. So obviously his numbers are going to be inflated because of that. So I think a lot of people are playing into his stats so much where it's like he's just, I mean, he was their number one receiver. He was their number one running back. He was everything for them. So it's like, yeah, I think he's great. I just don't think he's going to do that what he did in college in the NFL. I don't think he'll be given enough touches to, especially in an offense like us where we don't really feed the running back that much. And this is the kind of guy who needs to be fed a lot to do his business. And I just don't think they're going to do that with him, especially with our team, specifically the Kansas City. I just don't think he can bring that juice that he brought to Arizona State to the Kansas City Chiefs because he's not going to get the volume that he did get in college. That's where I stand on that.
But volume is one thing, but he was efficient, dude. I mean, it wasn't like he just got a shit ton of carries and didn't do much with them and still racked up yards because he was in there all the time. Like 5.8. I mean, I can use that argument against you and say because he was the only thing on offense, they should have just all 11 guys were looking at him every time. And to do what he did with all 11 guys looking at him every time with 2,300 total yards in the season, that's incredible. I mean, Judkins had a down year, and he's got one of the most talented offenses in football. He's maybe not even the top guy people are looking at on that offense, and he still didn't even perform that well.
On a down year, I think he had like 1,500 yards rushing. So it's only 200 yards less than this dude. Everyone's trying to make a big deal about his stats.
I don't know. I mean, you don't have Judkins stats tattooed on your arm. Don't you look at your arm real fast?
Yeah, no. Judkins had 194 carries, 1,060 yards in a down year. That's 100 less carries than this guy and like 600 less rushing yards in a better conference too. Also, look at the conference play they play in. Big 10 versus the Big 12. Actually, I don't even know. Yeah, Big 12. He's a Big 12 guy. Arizona State is.
I mean, average less yards per carry. So I mean,
So you're saying you'd rather have Skattebo than Judkins?
No,
is that what you're saying?
I'm specifically talking about your argument against Skattebo being he's the only guy on that offense. So that you use that as a negative against him. You can use that as a positive when all 11 guys are on your ass all the time.
Sure, but that's never going to be a reality in the NFL. He's not going to be getting the 500 touches in a season.
You're right.
That's never going to happen.
No one's going to be on a team with number 15. No one's going to give a shit about Skattebo. So if he was the number one guy, 11 guys keyed in on every single time, and he had 2,300 yards last season, what's he going to do when he's the fifth guy on offense that people are looking at every time? I can make that argument too, right? I mean,
so what is your opinion on him? You just want to make an argument with me on everything. What is your opinion on Skattebo?
I was just everything. Jeez, dude. I was just countering your argument against him. That's all. I mean, I was saying like you could also take that and spin it the other way. I like Skattebo. I think one of the most important stats is wins above replacement, and he had a higher wins above replacement than Genty did. So he is, when you take his next guy and put him in there, they get absolutely creamed. When you take Judkins out and put his replacement in there, that guy looks better actually than Judkins did last year. So that's a huge difference. And don't tell me they're not getting good recruits. They're all getting pretty good recruits. Arizona State's not a TCSU, okay, or TCSA. I went into it. It's like when you see a movie or a show after everyone hypes it up to you and you watch it, but you go into it kind of like, oh God, here we go. That's kind of how I went into looking at Skattebo. But I mean, again, everyone's zeroed in on him. 97 percentile missed tackle per attempt. He can make you miss. 95 percentile missed tackle per reception. So he catches the ball, turns around, becomes a runner instantaneously, and makes you miss and gets out of the tackle. When every single player is only looking at him every single time. You want to talk about Kareem Hunt comps? If you can't do a breakaway, I mean, he only ran 0.03 slower than Kareem Hunt did coming into the draft process. So
that's what my argument I was going to say. Okay, Kareem Hunt, very similar, like in size. Kareem Hunt coming out of college had a lot of balance to him. He bowling ball, couldn't knock him over. Was incredible. Is this a younger Kareem Hunt? That's kind of the thing. How does Skattebo, his vision, does a good job setting some things up. I think I was trying to look at, as far as like what they ran more zone. It was a little bit more man scheme as far as up front blocking. Skattebo, what he would do is he can set guys up and make them miss. And he kind of knows that I ain't gonna outrun this guy. So I gotta set an angle so I can almost run over him. Okay, or just kind of make him miss. He's got some very quick feet. I like his feet, man. Almost dainty, if you will.
He's got some wiggle.
Yeah, he does. He's very athletic. Now, is he going to shift down with his hips? No, he's not going to do that. That's not more of his game. Now, he'll stop and start and do all those different things to get you yards, but he's very productive. That's no question about it. He produces yards. He catches the ball well out the backfield. I love it that also, too, that he can be a blocker in pass protection. Because that gives you that's another added bonus, especially in an offense like this. So he's not going to be flashy. He's not going to outrun nobody. He's just not. Okay, we could call it what it is. But also saying Kareem Hunt, we're saying, oh, well, he ain't going to outrun nobody, but he'll get yards. Skattebo is going to get yards. We know that. So he's going to, it's going to be a hard trek getting everything that you give him. But once he get the ball in his hand, he's going to run hard. He's going to get you yards. He catch the ball out the backfield really well. I think he'd be a solid pick. And he's kind of grown on me after watching out some of these backs out here, right? Because we want the guy to run the 60, 70 yards and hit his head on the goalpost. That's what we want to see. We want to see somebody like Saquon Barkley or, Derrick Henry. Everybody's trying to chase to get to the end zone. And, Scat ain't going to give you that. And I say that's all right. If we're doing a comparison, and I'm going to ask the chat, do y'all think that, okay, and I hate doing this, maybe I'm going to go ahead and do it. Would y'all say this is somebody that is as good as Isaiah Pacheco or better?
You asking the chat or asking us?
I'm asking y'all too in the chat too. I'm gonna let everybody answer. Okay, I like Pacheco.
He's better than Pacheco. Pacheco would not be a second or third round prospect in this draft. He wasn't even a 7th round prospect in his own draft.
Well, part of it was because he have a line, nobody blocking for him either. But so G picks his feet up better than Pacheco vision wise. You think his vision's better than Pacheco? He's a bigger back. He make guys. He runs over guys, right?
I think right away he's better than Pacheco. Like just based on what we see from his film in college, 100%. I mean, and again, talk about the dual threat aspect. He's more of a dual threat guy than Pacheco. I mean, Pacheco's still, as of last year, he's still taking the offseason to kind of learn to become a better receiving back so he can stay on the field longer. And that's just one thing he hasn't really, he's still kind of getting. Well, this guy already has that in his bag.
Also, they both run pretty pissed off, but I think Skattebo is like one of the top backs in the draft at, like we talked about, I said this on Lance's show, just, runs like, you have his family hostage somewhere. Like that's how he runs. And I think Pacheco does too. The only difference is Cam will run through you. Pacheco's going to get his shoulder hurt. So Pacheco will try to run through you. Not really going to run through you, though. He's going to move you a bit and then miss like 4 games. Skattebo has made a college living off running through guys. So I think that's a...
we haven't seen Skattebo try to run through an NFL player yet, which we have seen it. And Pacheco do that, hence why he's getting the shoulder injuries. But, I mean...
Yeah,
seeing Skattebo do that in the NFL, I'd like to see him do that in the NFL. We saw Toby Gerhart do that in college. I mean, didn't really do that in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, man, this is a different animal in NFL.
Gerhart comparisons.
No, I'm just saying a running back who did do that in college when he got to the NFL, he did not do that. Is what my point.
Well, I mean, all we had to do is judge on college, though. I mean, we're comparing an NFL player to a college player. I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah, I know, but you just compare Skattebo, running through somebody and not hurting his shoulder, and Pacheco running through somebody in the NFL and hurting his shoulder. I mean, like you can't compare the apples. It's kind of apples and oranges right now to compare the two of them.
You're right. I mean, I guess I can pull up what his missed tackle per attempt was. I guarantee you, who wasn't a 97 percentile, or else he probably would have been, drafted higher in the 7th round in his draft. I mean, I'll look up college statistics then, I guess, because I mean he
he went to Rutgers, and Rutgers was in the Big Ten at the time. So I mean, that again, that's a higher competition he was going against.
It wasn't NFL to college, though, dude. Come on, you're trying to say like it was that much higher than what Arizona State faces.
Big Ten's legit. I mean, that you're seeing most of the guys in the first 3 rounds coming from Big Ten colleges, whereas Big 12 was
2,300 yards is 2,300 yards rushing. I mean, we can try. I can pull up his PFF and try to see what his games on. I can't do that.
You were going to say something, JD?
No, I was going to say this. Okay, so when I'm looking over here at the chat, everybody's saying, because I want to see where everybody's loyalties is lying at, or are we being objective when we sit there and we say these things? I agree with Sashi. She said, I think a large part of the running style is not viable in the NFL. He's going to bully. He's not going to bully anyone anymore. I do believe some of that's going to will probably diminish coming to the NFL, but I still think he's going to be effective. I still think he'll run over some guys. Up here, these guys are without a doubt up here to take your head off. And so there's bigger guys, more talented guys, more faster guys. They're going to hit harder. This is the best of the best. And the thing is, does that translate into the NFL? That's really the main question. Does his talents translate into the NFL? We seen like same thing. Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt is playing up at Toledo. Toledo, he comes in the NFL and he rips it up. Absolutely rips it up. So competition or not, is it just who he is? Kareem Hunt was just that guy.
It's a mentality.
It's a mentality. Yeah.
Yeah.
And with Scat's going, if he's that guy, he's that guy. And I love how he runs. He runs hard. So I've kind of fallen in love. I'm like, oh shoot, this dude's he's the real deal. And I'm like, that's always a question. Like, okay, well, I know he ain't gonna outrun nobody, but hey, somebody said modern day Mike Allstott. Okay,
no,
somebody like that.
Nah,
I'm just saying. It's what people are talking about, and we're saying as far as maybe not size wise, but we're talking about breaking tackles, getting up the field.
He's closer to Marshawn Lynch and Ricky Williams than he is Mike Allstott.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
That same really pissed off, like I'm getting to the end zone, but it has a little more wiggle than just a straight runner. Like Allstott was just to put his head down and try to just run.
Oh, he's gonna bull over you, yeah.
Straight line. Cam's not just to run over you. He's a get out of the tackle. He's also I'm not going to let you bring me down. That's not always running through someone. That's just a just resistance against being tackled, right?
Yeah.
It's not
resilience.
It's missed tackles, right?
Mm-hmm. So,
but don't you feel like I know we draft him? He's in a long-term guy, 4 years, right? But as right now, when I'm looking at the roster right now, is it a kind of redundancy of what we already have in the room between Kareem Hunt, Pacheco? I mean, Eli Mitchell, who can't stay healthy, he's proven in his career he can't stay healthy. So you have three of the same kind of guys. I mean, you don't really have that breaker, that home run hitter. It still comes to the same problem. It's Hunt, it's Skattebo, and then Pacheco. All three kind of guys who really can't get to that next gear, which is why I was hoping we would kind of solve that issue within this draft. That's kind of my hesitancy with Skattebo. I just feel like for the 2025 Chiefs team, it's just a redundancy of what we already have in the running back room. But again, not 2026 when Pacheco's potentially not there, Kareem Hunt's potentially not there. For sure, at that point, yes. Then the following year, you go get that guy who can be your 88 out the gate type of guy. But I'm saying as far as this year wise, drafting Skattebo is only kind of redundancy to what we already have in the running back room. That would be my only hesitancy with drafting him this year.
The one difference is he can do it all, though. He's one guy who can do what all those guys can do. He can catch and run. We don't really have a guy that's highly effective at both those things anymore. But he's not a game breaker. That's one thing he's not. So you still, even if you got Cam and you have no other running backs after next year, you'd still have to get like your poor man's Gibbs type guy, Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's one of the more polarizing guys in the draft. A lot of fascinating storylines going into this. Like, where does he get drafted? It's just on top of the running backs being so deep. Here's a good question for you. If this was not a deep running back class, where would he be ranked? People would start to talk about him late first. Probably.
Because I've seen some mocks having the second going to the second to fourth is where I see that range for him. So
mostly like second, third. So take Hampton out and take Genty out. And you're moving Judkins, Cam, and Henderson up 20, 30, maybe 20 positions.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
JD, so second round, are you taking Cam Skattebo if he's there, or are you waiting to see if he's there the third round?
Late third, you mean, right?
I would, for me, and I'm staying with this. I think running back or tight end or somebody you can pick up in later rounds, you still get a quality guy. I told you I like it running back. I think he could do well. Ollie Gordon. I think he's somebody that you could probably get who runs hard, who probably, if you're sitting there saying, okay, what he was able to do in college, then last year, he kind of took a step back, but he's a big guy. He's a physical guy. He can hit his head on the goalpost. He can outrun people. He can run over them, run around them. He still has that ability. But you could get him later. That's another guy you could get later. I think we have more pressing needs as opposed to, a running back. There's a lot of good running backs in this draft. Brayshawn Tootin is another guy. I like him a lot. I think we'll get him later.
The all 2023 team, Deone Walker and Ollie Gordon.
Resurrect your career, baby. That's what I'm looking for.
Guys who you only watched last year's film, they'd be like top 2-round players.
Yeah.
The whole package. And I'll say this, talking about running back, Chiefs today and tomorrow are meeting with Damian Martinez, a two-day visit with a running back. JD, we talked about pre-draft visits last week. When a player meets with the team for 2 days, what does that tell you about the interest level in Damian Martinez? What do they need to meet with a player for 2 days for? I mean, to ask you that.
2 days?
Yeah.
I think they're just really trying to get a full feel of him. You might come in late, have dinner, and then, you just, next day is like the full day. I did that when I went up there to New England. And so, you meet with the staff and, hey, man, look, enjoy yourself, man. Kick your feet, relax. Tomorrow we'll get at it. We'll talk a little bit more. So you just get to know a guy really well in that 2-day visit. So.
And one thing about running back, too, it's so deep. I said this on Lance's show. It's so deep that there's pluses to waiting, and then if we do draft a guy early, it just shows you how much we liked him, right? To just say, hey, we know it's deep, but that's our guy, and we want him. We have a vision for him, right? If you bypass all these amazingly talented guys we've talked about over the past few weeks, and you choose a guy in like the 4th round, it's like, man, like they were so confident in waiting for this guy by bypassing all those other dudes who were just like, great talent. It's not a debate. It's a great running back class. So, it's pick your poison, really.
Yeah. I think that's, for me, that would be my approach. My approach is, listen, let's deal with some other things, more pressing issues now. The running back is something we can get later on because it is so deep, right? There's a lot of good guys. There's a lot of talented running backs, a lot of talented guys. That you're going to be able to get. Shoot, I guarantee some teams going to be able to get some guys, man, free agency just going to be able to come in and rip it up, man. It's going to get some looks. So yeah, man, that position is really going to be very interesting to me to see how this going to play out for this draft, really. So.
But it'll be obvious to see what our vision is, right? Like if we draft a Skattebo, it's okay. We want like a 3-down guy for the future when these guys 1-year deals run out. That's our guy the next 3 years after this. But if we draft, I think, and same with Judkins. I think Judkins would be this is our 3-down guy for the next like 4 years. But if you draft someone like Henderson or Samson, then you're like, okay, we're looking for our home run hitter. We're looking for our guy. We like these maulers and mashers between the tackle, but we want a guy we could just pitch it to, do a little swing pass to, and have him be gone, right? Like so, right. It's really interesting to see what our vision is going to be for this. And I just saw a pretty good player comp for Skattebo. Jaylen Warren. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good comp.
Yeah.
Not insanely athletic. Runs really, really hard. Tough to bring down. Can break away things, but he's not a breakaway, run player.
Yeah. Do it all kind of guy.
Yeah. But where did he go? Like 4th or 5th round?
Yeah.
So there's some of that hype that's kind of raising the price for Skattebo.
Yeah. No, the running back position is going to be one to watch in this draft. Obviously, we've been talking about for pretty much this entire offseason. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. If they go early, that's their guy. If they do go early, and my fantasy football advice is draft that guy in your fantasy leagues because that means they're going to be a big fan of that dude. They're going to want to get him the ball early and often.
Oh, yeah. That extra 3rd round pick allows us to kind of maybe take a chance and do that kind of thing, whereas if we only had a low amount of picks, we'd be like, okay, we need to be really, really choosy with these, but we have that extra one. So we're like, you know what? Let's take them. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that does it for our episode tonight. We hope everybody enjoyed the another prospect episode. I know you guys are getting so much out of it. We've seen a lot of new followers and subscribers commenting on the YouTube videos. We have a whole playlist dedicated to all prospects we've talked about so far. I think we have like around 30 something prospects, and only going to be continuing adding to it. So next Monday is our last prospect show because it's the last Monday show before our eventual draft. So take the notes on the prospects, guys. Get your pen, get your pad, get your paper, start taking notes. But yeah, guys, we hope you guys enjoy the show. JD, send us away, brother.
Man, hey, look, wonderful job, guys. Great show. Demetrius Spence, appreciate it, my brother. Thank you so much. Everybody coming in and sticking with us for this little draft episode that we're doing. And so hopefully we've shown you enough guys and what we feel the Chiefs may want to go. Guys that we like a lot in the draft. And I always think that the Chiefs should listen to us. That's what I believe, fellas. I do. So I think we got a good job and a good handle on the guys that's coming out. So we'll just have to see. But I appreciate everybody coming out tonight, staying with us. Mike Brennan, About Time, Drew Boucher, Sasha, thank you so much. Beats 303, Kevin Marsh, appreciate the hospitality, my brother. Thank you so much for the contribution. Faye Smith, thank you so much for coming in, Faye. Seen you say something in there earlier. Gary Holland, Demetrius Spence, Linda Hunter, Monty 256, Rachel Tootin. Yes, sir. That's right. Monty, what up, cuz? How you doing? Yeah. Down there. No, Alabama? That's because he's Alabama all through and through.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm sure. Surprised he didn't say Roll Tide. Let me see. Witchy Hall, G Pick. I know I said it. All right. See who else we got in here. Justin DeWay as well. Let me see. Laura Zingser. I know I'm probably butchered your name, but I'm taking a stab at it. Rick Hendrickson, Gordon Nome, Andre Chenault. Thank you so much. Diamante Green Beans is in here earlier. Seen you here, my guy. Appreciate you coming in. Amder Brown was in here for a little bit. I think he done bounced out. He went to. But we'll see. We're going to have a good show probably on Wednesday as well. Still going to be hollering at y'all. Maybe get a surprise guest. We're going to find some things out and see what things are.
We'll see. That's TBD still, JD.
TBD, that's cool. I'm good with it. All right. Good with it. Who else we got in here? Zulu was in here in the house, man. Appreciate it, Zulu. But now Hannah was here. It was good conversation, man. Look, y'all tell us some of the people that y'all like as well. Okay. We like talking about these guys. I've just kind of looked at the dudes that I like. Same thing with Tage and Marcus. But y'all throw some names out there too that y'all might think is a good fit over here with the Chiefs. So
yeah, I scour through all the comments, guys, and like I said, our guy, I picked many guys who you guys have commented on for me to talk about, like Deone Walker tonight. Our guy asked us to do that, so yeah, I'm trying to appease you guys for the guys you want to hear about. So that's the way it's the way I roll. So if you guys just comment on the guys you want to talk about, we'll try to make that an effort to be a part of our last prospect show next Monday. So
yeah. And I'm going to be on the show on Friday. I'll let y'all know it on Wednesday, too. P. Max on his show. We're going to be talking about some tight ends as well in this draft. So,
heck yeah.
Should be a nice one. P. Mac, his fam right there. Tyrone Hoskins, appreciate you, my brother. Who else we have in here? Sweetie, my lovely wife, is here, and she's asked me to come on upstairs. I'm taking too long. Be like, for you to get off. She says, too long. Nana Sherry, thank you so much. Rick Hendrickson, see here earlier. Brian Birch was here, Hannah as well. Sparkle Sports Card, Cordell Robinson. Who else did we miss? Hope we didn't miss anybody. I think we got everybody so far. Who else? I think that's about it. Oh, Stu was in here. Stu in the house. Stu, if you're still here, brother. Pono Kawhi was here as well. I think that's about it. Well, yep. Listen, you all. See, wifey's telling me yes, good night. He's calling it night. So got to go up here eat some dinner, fellas. All right. So
Yes, sir.
Say hi to my wifey. I know she'll appreciate it. She always likes seeing you guys out here too. So
Love you, Susan. So thank you for letting us have JD for this long.
mm-hmm. She's gonna give me some nuggets. Like, what are you doing now?
Hey, no Friday show in the offseason, so she gets a whole 2 hours back with you on Friday. So maybe a little longer on Monday.
She does not care. She's like, dude, I need to cut it. All right. Well, listen, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful night. Y'all take care. God bless. Thank you so much. Love you, brothers, Marcus and Taze. All right, man. Y'all be well. We will see y'all on Wednesday. We'll still keep talking and chattering on here some more about some things. We have some good conversations, man. We talk about guys, so it's always a good thing as well. But everybody, y'all be safe. Y'all take care. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see y'all on Wednesday night. Wednesday night is when it will be.
All righty.
All right.
See you, fellas. Love you guys.
See y'all later.
Love y'all later on.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.